Happy Friday, everyone. It's Sharon coming at you from Beach Therapy Counseling Services. As usual, if you guys like what you are learning and hearing, go ahead and subscribe at the end of this video and share it on your social media so that those that you love and care about can also benefit. So, I've said thank you before, but I wanted to say thank you again today because I have an amazing friend and family circle that have really supported me and helped me through this crazy journey of private practice here with Beach Therapy. I wouldn't give up a minute of it, and it's because of all of you guys that I keep going and keep striving for what I know is the best that I can be, and I love what I do. So I appreciate all of you. But outside of my friends and family, I have had this amazing support from other professionals, clients, and just people who know me on a professional level only that have sent me continual clients and have supported me through this whole journey. And I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. Keep sending me those clients and just know that I, from the depths of who I am so appreciative of each and every one of you and every single thing that you have done for my practice. So thank you so much. So last week, I kind of opened up the box of letting everyone know that I have integrated a few families and many couples actually into my private practice. So that has been new for beach therapy. And last week's video, if you haven't seen it already, was on the pecking order. And this week's video is going to be something, a common thread that I have noticed within couples that I've been working with. And I would actually say, not even a common thread, it is something that has happened with every single 100% of my couples. And I feel like if I have 100% of the couples I work with dealing with this issue, then I would venture to say that many of you, if not all of you, have dealt with this within your intimate relationships to some level at some point. So I think this is a valuable topic for me to be talking about. So today's topic that I want to talk about is going to be communication and effective communication. And some of you might see yourselves in some of the words and some of the scenarios that I'm going to paint for you, and others of you may not see it, but it's still probably true to some level or some extent. So still listen, still try and apply it to your lives, because every day the best we can do is just be better than we were yesterday, right? No, there's no such thing as perfect people, but as long as we continue to work on ourselves and grow, that's all we can do and all we can ask of ourselves and others. So within couples that I've been working with, I have just noticed that a lot of the issues stem from this communication piece. And when people are arguing, because I mean, like it or not, you could have the most amazing relationship, which is wonderful for you, but we all argue because no two people are alike. We're going to argue, we're going to have tension, we're going to have debates. Some people call it fighting. Whatever it might be in your relationship, we have some of that tension. And the issue that I'm seeing most commonly within these relationships are we are all fighting to be the right fighter. And what I mean by that is he wants to be right, she wants to be right. I mean, everybody wants to be right. And so we are fighting to communicate our rightness, but we are lacking in the listening piece of that. And that's going to be the most important piece of your relationship, especially within communication, is going to be listening, because if we love and care about this other individual, we want to know what it is they're trying to communicate to us. But so often we're just so heated and so in the moment that we're actually, believe it or not, we're not listening to what they have to say. We're not listening to their point of view. We are only trying to make our point. But the problem there is going to be when you're making your point, well, they're trying to make their point too. So everybody's making their point, but nobody's listening. And this is how it gets to be the shouting matches, or however it looks in your relationship where it's just this back and forth banter. That's how it gets to be there, because nobody wants to hear what the other one has to say. They both just want to keep going and tell that person what they are thinking, what they feel, how they want to punish you, whatever it might be. I don't know what the fights or the arguments or the banter within your relationship looks like, but that's the problem, is nobody is using these active listening skills. And that's actually the most important part. So I know that it's going to be a hard thing to implement into our relationships because, I mean, part of you wants to say, well, if I'm actively listening, why aren't they going to listen to me then? But you need to practice what you preach first. Before you can expect something of the other person, you need to be the one that does it. And more than that, you need to remember that the only person that you can control is yourself. So you need to be the best you that you can be in those moments and at least work towards active listening. And when I say active listening, it means taking a step back. You don't have to prove your point 80 times. Maybe you share what you feel and then you just be quiet and you listen to what they have to say. Really listen, not just listen so you can come back with something else to say. And the best way to test this, I tell my couples within my counseling room to do this within their relationships at home, is you know what? You're going to have a heated debate. You're going to have an argument. It might not be today, tomorrow, but the next time you have a conversation that maybe you guys are in a disagreeing point of views, you go ahead and have that conversation, argument, whatever it might look like. And then once you're both calm, come back together and take a few minutes. You share with your spouse, your significant other, what it is you heard them say, and then have them do the same. And you might be surprised at how little you actually took out of what they were saying, or you might actually be surprised at the message that they said, you weren't perceiving it in the way they were trying to deliver it. I mean, there's this communication gap, but it's just because we aren't doing the best job at listening. And then the second component to the whole active listening thing is going to be the way we deliver these messages. So this is essential. And I know this doesn't even just happen within spousal relationships. I'm even talking the way you talk to your kids. And this goes for all of us. At times, I know even for myself, I find myself raising my voice or yelling when you want to get your point across. But let me tell you, especially when we're dealing with your significant other or other adults that you are dealing with, yelling at another adult does not produce effective communication at all. You might feel like you have a very valid thing to say, but I'm telling you that person is not listening to you when you are yelling at them. If anything, what people, and especially adults, do when another adult is yelling at them is they turn it off. Like, you can say whatever you want, but it's not going to resonate inside of here because that's a defense mechanism on our own, right? We don't want to hear somebody putting us down and somebody making us feel less than, especially somebody that we love and is supposed to be the person that cares for us the most. So if you want to be an effective communicator yourself, you need to do it from a very calm place, in a place of here. Like, this is fine. You don't want to be up here. Because if you're up here, this person is not, they're just going to tune you out. So let's effectively communicate, first by listening, and then second by our tone of voice. And then the third thing we want to remember is we need to set our own boundaries. So if it's us that's being bantered or being treated bad or yelled at or whatever that is, you need to start today by saying, I'm no longer putting up with that. So if the next time you want to talk to me, come to me from a place of an even tone, respect, and then I'm more than happy to talk to you. And I know that we have created some of these patterns within our relationships that it's not going to work overnight. It's not going to be the first time you say that person's now never going to yell at you again. But the more we show them that I am walking away the minute you start yelling at me or making me feel bad or threatened in any way, the less they're going to do that behavior. So it's just a matter of retraining ourselves how to effectively communicate, how to argue effectively, because you know what? We're going to have times where we're not going to agree. That's just the way it goes in life. But we need to be able to handle that in a way where we both feel respected and we both feel heard. So as usual, you guys know where to reach me, mybeachtherapy.net. Like I said, nobody's going to do this perfectly. So if you and your spouse or significant other need somebody to walk beside you, I am happy to do that. I am finding so many wonderful new ways to deal with my couples and to help them kind of heal their relationships that I would love for you and your spouse to come on in and we can work through it all together. So mybeachtherapy.net. But as usual, you guys have a wonderful weekend and we will see you next week.